up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Drawn Talk. It's your boy Tyler, and kind of like a surprise stream since I wasn't really planning on doing this today. I typically try to stream just Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, but every now and then I get time to do a stream, and I had a video that I made for this particular topic, and I was going to post it on Monday. But seeing how I had time to do this right now, I figured let's talk about this. I want to talk about the two reasons why your comic book is maybe failing. Why your comic book probably isn't doing the best that it is right now. So yeah, making comics is hard. Making comics is hard because you want it to look good. You want your comic to look good, and sometimes it just doesn't work. So today we're going to talk about the two reasons why your comic book is failing. And there's nothing wrong with it failing. So hit me up in the chat, by the way, if you're watching, just to say hi, just so I know. It really means a lot to me that I know who's watching. Britton, what's up? How you doing, bud? I always want to know who's watching these things because, let me just tell now. All right, and we got, hey, how you doing? The pink, is it Kikata? I don't know, but we're Twitter friends, and I'm so glad that you're here. How are you doing? Guys, let's talk about this. Let's get in on this. Why our comic books are failing? There's two reasons. There's two reasons why I think your comic book is failing. And after I'm done talking about the two reasons, whoever's around, I'll drop the link and we can have like a nice 10-minute discussion before I have to bounce. Okay. Reason number one. Okay. Actually, I'll tell the reasons right now and then I'll get to each one. Okay. The two reasons that your comic book is probably failing is content, whether it's the writing and the art, or you don't have a big enough fan base. It's either the one of the two or both, okay? Let's talk about that. We got Larry saying, why am I failing, Tyler? You're not failing, Larry. You're doing great. So we got Larry in here, Britton, we got Christopher. What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Okay, so these are the two this is all right, first reason why your comic book is failing. Content. Okay, if you are a writer and your book is failing, it might be because your writing sucks. I just want to put it out there, and that kind of hurts to hear that. And by the way, the reason why I had this topic is because I had two people ask me today, how come their comic books weren't being well received, and I told them these reasons, and I told them my own personal opinions, and then they got mad at me. They got mad at me, and so I just have to do this. I'm not gonna say this people were, but I didn't like the writing, so I thought the writing was really poor. And then another thing is the art. I didn't like the art. Okay, so that's reason number one. If your comic book is failing, it might be because the writing either sucks or the art isn't good. And those are two very important things for a comic book, especially the art. If the art isn't very good, the appeal is already kind of lost. If you were to ask me, Tyler, are you comfortable? I wish I could grab it, but it's in the other room. I should have streamed in the other room. But I want to show you guys an old comic book that I made. And if I was to present that to now, if I was to show you guys that comic book today and then to be like, well, how come no one likes this book? I'll tell you why no one likes this book is because my writing sucked in that book and the art sucked in that book. I didn't do a very good job because I wasn't a good artist then. I'm still not a good artist. I'm still learning and I'm practicing. But if I was to show someone my art then and they're like, yeah, that sucks, I'd be like, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Pink Kikata, that's what I'm gonna say. Pink Kikata. I'm just gonna call you the Pink. It seems like there's a lot of entitlement and pride and an inability to take criticism in comics. absolutely. I like to be criticized in my comics. I like to learn. Because if I don't learn, how am I supposed to get better? hey, everyone, I haven't gotten far enough to fail yet. I tuned in to see what I need to avoid. Well, Pete Marquez, thanks for being here. I'm just the two reasons are, either your writing's bad or your art is bad. And there's nothing wrong, by the way, with your writing and your art being bad in a comic book, because you know what that means is at least you made a comic book and then you're going to improve on the next comic book. There's nothing wrong with improvement. You've got to fail first. I have like 4 graphic novels that I made in that bookshelf that I call failures. I'm not going to show anyone those books because the writing was bad and the art was bad. I couldn't gain a following there. No one liked them because they were bad. They failed. I still love them because I put my heart and soul with them and I improved 3 years later, but they're failures. We got Larry here saying, gotta crawl before you walk, gotta walk before you run. Exactly. And we got Brandon here saying, my issue is effing money. I'm seriously about to get off my ass and get a real job. You should get a real job. Hopefully something I vaguely enjoy. I'm sick of asking permission all the time. Making comic books, it is an expensive thing. But yeah, you need to, nothing's going to be good the first time. Your art's not going to be good the first time. Your writing is not going to be good the first time. I'm working on a book right now called The Hard Line, and I'm like currently re-editing a lot of the script because I'm like, this is so bad. This is not going to do well. So that's the reason number 1. Maybe your art just isn't what people are wanting. Which then leads me to say this. I was talking with someone. They were like, well, I don't like Greg Capullo. Or I don't like Jim Lee. What's wrong with you? Okay, so you don't like their art style. Why are they succeeding then? Why are they succeeding? Because of reason number 2. They have a fan base and you don't. So the second reason why your comic book is failing is because you don't have a fan base. The art could be absolutely brilliant. But if you don't have a fan base, you're not going to be able to make money. By the way, guys, when I say your comic book is failing, I'm talking about selling your comic book and getting it out there and creating a fan base. You creating the comic is a whole nother discussion. But the reason why like Greg Capullo and Jim Lee, even if you don't like their style, there's probably hundreds of thousands of people who don't like that style. The reason why they're able to succeed still is they have an audience. They have a fan base, and your comic book doesn't have a fan base. One thing I don't like is when I hear creators and they're like, "Oh, if only people like realized how good I was," and then I say, share your art to the world. We live in the day and age where the internet, you got Twitter, you got Facebook, you got YouTube, you have Instagram. You can post your art and you can get a good reaction. Okay, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy, but you can kind of gauge where people see it. And if you're not getting a good reaction, you might be failing. You might be failing. One of these people that I was talking today, they've been working on their webcomic for 5 years. 5 years. They've been posting it on everywhere: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. They're like 4 different webcomic sites, and they're like, I can barely get 10 people to read it every week. But it's okay, because people will see. I'm only 5 years in, and I'm like, dude, after 5 years of doing the same book, the same writing, the same art style, at some point you got to just throw in the towel and just be like, listen, I suck right now. My writing sucks. I need to get better. My art sucks. It needs to get better. It's just not resonating with everyone. So we got Brandon here saying, don't need to bring up that I don't have a job. I already feel shame about it. Hey, you put it in the chat, boy. So, there's nothing wrong with having to change your style. With those books, when I thought I had the style that I needed to make a good comic book, realized I didn't. And I spent the next year or 2 practicing, trying to make a new style. And guess what? I'm not very happy with my current style right now. Not even close. And so, what I decided to do is I've been practicing drawing. You guys know what I do at work these days besides watching Daredevil and not doing my work because my boss doesn't trust me to do anything? I've been just practicing drawing. Today I worked on 3-point perspective. This last week I've been working on anatomy. I'm trying to draw like Jim Lee and Greg Capullo because their styles clearly work and they sell comics. It's really hard, guys. There's no, and that's just me being honest with you. That's just me being honest with you guys that, I know that eventually my art style is gonna, fail, and I need to, better myself if I want to make comics that are gonna resonate with people. On that note, though, do you guys want to see a page I drew today? Just real quick. Let me screen share this. I'm really proud of this drawing. So I'm working on a book called Undead Row right now with Wes Nadell. And oh, that looks horrible. There we go. Can you guys see that? Yeah, guys, this is the book I'm working on. It's a zombie book. It's a zombie book. And, even then, I don't like my style in this. I'm not very happy with it. I want to get better. Don't get me wrong. This is like how good I am right now. I just want to get better. I just really want to get better. I want my writing to get better. I want my art to get better. That is what I'm going for. Carl's Amateur Hours in the house. That looks good. Thanks, Carl. And we got Christopher C. saying nice ink. Thanks, guys. Stop sharing. But yeah, guys. So two things. If your comic book isn't doing well, ask yourself this: is the art good? Is the writing good? Then if you think those two are on par, ask yourself then how come I don't have a fan base? And growing a fan base is a complete other thing. And actually, that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow on the live stream with Muttman and Macho Dan. No, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. On Tuesday. That's what we're going to be talking about, is growing your audience and how to market your comic book correctly. Because gosh dang, I've seen so many bad marketing tactics for people's comics. It's sad. Larry says, look, comics is competitive and there is lots of both cool and bad stuff out there. You need to make sure you are pumping out the best you possibly can. When you go on Kickstarter, there are 100 other Kickstarters. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Larry. That's the other thing. It's crazy. There are so many people out there making comics. So many people. You think, oh, there's not a lot of people making comics. No, there is a shit ton of people making comics. And a lot of them are probably better than yours. Holy crap. And you're wondering why they got the huge fan bases, because their comic is really good. Now, here's the thing. Some people, I've looked at their comics and I've looked at their Kickstarters and their Indiegogos, and I look at the writing and I look at the art, and I think it's absolute crap. Okay? I think it's absolute crap, and there's no way that I would read it or enjoy it. But you know what they have is they have a fan base. And that's, if you have to have one or the other. Okay? No, actually, I think to sell art, you need to always have a fan base. But if you have a fan base, your content can be crap. If they're loyal. So reason number two. So I guess reason number 2 is the most important for failure. No fan is the fan base, but number 1 helps is if the writing and the art is good. So yeah, guys, I just want to make good comics, and I want you all to make good comics. And a lot of the comics I've seen you guys make are really good. It's just we're all in that first inning. We're all in that first inning, and it's hard. It's really hard sometimes because I want to be in that 9th inning. I want to be invited to a Comic-Con where they pay for my hotel and my food, and then I'm just like, hey, you've got signing, follow us. Like, that would be so cool. But I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Why? Is my art and content good? I'm working on it. Do I have a fan base? It's growing. I need to grow it. This channel, I hope, is helping. And yeah. We got Pete Marquez saying, well, that looks good, but you should always want to improve. That's how you improve. If you're ever satisfied with your results, you will stop improving. Preach. That is so freaking true. and another thing to build, how do I put this? Comic books is competitive, but there is no reason why we should also put people down and act like competitive. This isn't like a sport where I'm up against you. I kind of am. I'm kind of against all you guys, but I'm not. Does that make sense? Because we're all in this together. If I that's why I have indie creators come on the show. I want to promote them because I want to help them. I want to see them do well. It's a very competitive market. We are all up against each other, and yet there's actually more pie to eat than people who are eating it. We just have to help each other. The pink, it's cicada. You can call me cicada. Oh, it's cicada. You can call me Pink if you want. Communication and pleasant attitude, regular updates of content will help build a fan base. Absolutely. Just be a good person and promote and make content. One thing I've noticed is I'm really good with conversing with people. I'm really good at having them on the show and us having a conversation. What I've realized I'm not good at commentating stuff. Like, I can't commentate on a Batman comic for very long by myself because I'm like, I really liked it because I like this panel. And I sit there like, well, yeah, that's all I got. Like, I hope you read the book. But one thing that I feel like I am good at talking about is I'm good at talking about the reality of things. I feel like I'm good at just telling you guys how it is. People don't want to hear the reasons why their comic book is failing. People don't want to hear the fact that their writing sucks and their art sucks and needs to be improved. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that they're failing. I, on the other hand, I want to fail. You know what? I want to lose. I like losing. It's such a good learning opportunity to lose. There was when Insane Comics shut down, and my comic book at issue 10 just ceased to exist, and we had 4 more issues to pump out, and I had to restart all over again. I lost all those Insane fans because the networking wasn't very smart and the communication wasn't very good. I lost like 50 loyal readers when Insane went down. I lost. And I sat down and I was like, frick, this isn't good. This is not good. So, and I looked at it and I was sitting there and I was like, what the frick do I do? And I was like, I've lost my fan base. If people I didn't even know. And I was like, I need to bring them. I need to start afresh. And because I lost, I was like, all right, I'm going to go hard on YouTube. I'm going to go hard on the Twitter. And I'm just going to be working my butt off to get this fan base and to show you guys what I'm up to. If that Kickstarter, if Demons Volume 1 hadn't worked out and I lost, I don't know what I would have done. But you know what? I would have made a plan. Because when you lose, it shows who you really are. And something that I'm really good at is if when things go wrong, I can make a plan like that. The pink cicada, as a creative, you have to get thick skin and learn to discern a good critique from a bad one. A good one will help you focus on something that needs improvement. Absolutely. And there are good critiques and there's bad critiques. Now this is a bad critique. If someone's like, yeah, sucks, and just leaves it at that, that's probably a bad critique. I mean, even if it does suck. A good critique, I feel like a good critique, they'll tell you how to improve. So, for example, my friend Brad, Pencil for Life on YouTube and Twitter, he's always like critiquing me on my art. He's telling me, hey, you could improve here, and then this is how, and he shows me. And that right there is good critique. Bad critique, you draw anime, kill yourself. Oh my stars, yes. And then Christopher C, losing is the best thing I do. Maybe I should start a channel on how to fail spectacularly. Christopher C, I that one thing I think is good is that is showing people the loss. The thing I hate about society now is that all we want to show people is the wins. People only want to show the wins. I want to show you guys the losses. I want to show you guys losing. I'm going to show you guys with this channel. I'm not afraid to be raw. I'm not afraid to show you guys that, tell you guys, hey, I sucked. I'm waiting for, I'm waiting for a project where finally the writer's like, Tyler, this is awful. You're out. I will tell you guys when that happens. I hope it doesn't, but I will tell you guys when that happens. But I'm not afraid to show you guys that right now I've got a couple graphic novels in there that look terrible, and I'm not proud of them at all. I'm just happy that I did them, that they were good practice pages. And at least I did a finished product. At least I did a finished product. That's all that matters. So, all right, guys, those are the 2 reasons why your comic is failing. Either your content isn't good, writing and art, and or you don't have a fan base. That's it. So I guess real quick for 10 minutes, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put this in. I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you want to join in, let me know. And this is what's going to happen. I'll put the link in the chat. And then I'm going to ask you, what you think you could do to improve. And that's all I want to hear from you. All right? Can we all do that? So I don't want this to be like, I'm just going to ask you what you think you can do to improve. So then next time we do these streams, I want to know how you're improving. Okay? It's good. Accountability is important. And I'm going to do it as well. All right. I'm going to be the first one right here to say the thing that I need to improve. I need to improve my anatomy. I need to improve my traditional work because my traditional line work sucks. And I need to improve my timeline on when I make these comics. I need to stop taking so many projects. So yeah, my improvements, I need to get better at traditional, and I need to work on my basic set skills. I rely too much on digital crap. So here's the link. And I'm going to ask you what you think you need to improve on. So just click on that link, you'll get in, and then I'm going to ask you. And yeah. Real quick, those who are watching, I hope you guys hit the subscribe button. I hope you guys are liking and commenting. Someone gave me a thumbs down. What the F? Someone gave me a thumbs down. What the did I offend you? It's okay. I'll take criticism.
I was on my YouTube channel and I looked down and I was watching it was a stream that me and Justin did, and I got a thumbs down. I went on Twitter and I was flipping out. I'm like, oh, you sons of bitches.
Yeah, frick, man. Okay. We got the pink cicada say I'd hop in, but I'm about to drive. No worries. Yo, everyone, check out the chat. The link is in there. So I'm gonna ask. All right, we'll go. Britton, what's up, Carl? How you doing?
Doing good.
All right, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask Britton. Oh, Britton, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
He's like, I gotta put the hat on. I'll ask Britton first, and then I'll ask you, Carl. So, Britton, what is the one thing that you think that you need to improve on to succeed? And we're gonna hold you accountable. So, there's got to be something that we can, like judge. Does that make sense? Like, don't say, I hope that like my Instagram following gets like 10,000. Like, no, it's got something that we can like grade scale.
I'm not that shallow.
No, you should want 50,000 followers. That's not shallow.
Okay. I hope that people actually read my stuff and tell me what they think. Like, I'm always like, can you read my work? And they're like, yeah, never does it. And it just bugs the crap out of me.
You want me to do it, Britton? Do you want me to read your thing and draw it out live and see if it works out or not?
All right. I mean, me and Justin have been. Justin's been doing stuff. So
yeah, you got Justin. Yeah, Justin's great. But what's the one thing that we can like you can improve on, that we can ask you like in a week's time or 2 weeks time or even a month? Like, how are you doing on it?
For starters, I need to get me some freaking money, okay? Because
Wait. That's a great ending. We need like something we can actually judge. I'm not going to be like, we got Britton here. It's a month later. Britton, how is your bank account?
Okay. Yeah, I know that was kind of a nonsense. It's serious, but you know.
You're good.
Let's see. Sometimes I think too much about the plotting. I think I need to get going on my plotting skills. You know.
Okay.
I mean, I have ideas that I think are fairly competent, like this one I have right now, and I think the plot's mostly good. But then there's parts I'm like, man, I need to give them more things to do where it just doesn't feel like they're meandering.
No, yeah, I know. I feel you. I'm actually having the same problem. I just turned in a script for a comic book I'm not ready to announce yet. I don't normally announce comic books until they're like 3 to 4 issues finished. But I turned in the script for issue 3, and it'd been a year since I'd written issue 2 because the artist took a really long time to draw it. And I was writing issue 3, and I was like, where is the story even going? Because it's been a year. I'm like, where I've lost my plot. I've lost my plot points. So yeah. So what do you think what are things that you can do, do you think, to help you get better at plotting, Britton?
I would say think harder, but I already think really hard about, well, what I'm because my main issue is, I have this main idea and I know where it's going to go. I have this plotted out, but it's all the in-between stuff. It's like, what do you want me to do? I mean, I guess you could say it's kind of a character development thing. I don't know. That's always kind of, well, I think I'm okay at that, but it's just kind of giving them things to do. That.
What do you mean? What do you mean by things to do? Things that will drive the character into developing?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have the ending of your story written out?
Yes.
Okay. So what I would do is, I always say when you write a story, you should always have the ending in mind first, figure it out, and then work your way backwards. So with the ending of your story, how you want your character, like you should know, like, okay, I want if your character is a good guy by the end of it, you should maybe start your character as a bad guy and then work your way to figure out how to get it. I'm laughing because we got Dan Lucas saying, Macho Dan, I use string newspaper clippings in the photos of random objects. My bedroom looks like a serial killer lair. Macho Dan in the chat. Here's the link to get in if you want to jump in on the video. I hope to maybe get you on. We're only gonna be talking for like 15 more minutes. We're talking about what we want to do to improve our comic book writing and art. So that's a good one, Britton. I'm gonna remember that mainly because we talk a bunch, and I'm gonna hold you to that in the next probably in a week or two, and I'm gonna ask you.
I just hope I haven't thought myself to a nervous breakdown by then. So.
No, you're good. You're good. Carl, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Thanks for participating last night in the draw.
No problem. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. Carl, what do you think is something that you can improve on with your comic book making, whether it's writing or your art?
Well, 2 things. One, in the writing spectrum is just, I think, care more about the writing. For me, it's just like, okay, I have a basic idea of the story, and if it doesn't work out, I scrap the idea and just start from the beginning again. I don't go through like first draft, second draft, third draft. I just go, okay, here's the idea. If it doesn't work out, I'm just gonna scrap it and try something.
I'm the same. It's bad.
Yeah, I'm always like, this is like I said in the chat, I've been writing for 4 years and I'm still just like, this is trash. I'm throwing this away.
I understand that. I haven't been writing for nearly as long because I'm more of an artist.
So what do you think, Carl, you could do though to improve that?
Well,
to improve your writing.
There's reading books on writing. I think that's an important thing to do. Learn from people who actually know what they're talking about as far as writing is concerned.
Mm-hmm. Do you read any mainstream comics?
Not typically.
So what got you into wanting to make comics then?
Okay, that's an interesting one. At first, I wanted to get into animation, but then I started. Well, it started with manga. Then I started reading some American comics, particularly The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. And then I decided, you know what? I want to get on. I want to get in on this. This seems like an interesting thing to do. I grew up reading. This is embarrassing to admit, but I grew up reading the terrible Archie Sonic the Hedgehog comics, and I loved those to death as a kid. So that oddly became another influence or inspiration of mine, where it's just like, hey, this seems like an interesting hobby as well as an interesting industry to get into to try to work in. I want to do that.
Okay. One thing I guess maybe that could improve your writing is read more comic books. Those like how to write books. I personally don't like them because they're just too like, you should do this. I think read more comic books. I think the best thing to the best thing to do. Oh, I muted Dan. Dan, I muted you just for a bit because I heard the other stuff. But I think you should. I think reading more comic books, seeing how like the writers structure their stuff. And if you ever need like what books to read, hit up Britain, because Britain reads a lot of comic books.
Yeah, definitely. I've been looking into a lot of interesting things, like the 80s Titans book, the new Teen Titans. George Perez, Marv Wolfman.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've been loving that so far. That's great.
Let's see.
Hold
on.
Hey guys, sorry about that. I totally boomed it all up.
How you doing, Dan?
I'm good, man. I turned my computer on and Spotify opened up and like a YouTube opened up and there was like 8 things going at the same time. So that's my bad.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Hold on, follow me. Yeah.
What I was gonna say, real quick.
Yeah.
The book I've used. Well, you know, I'm mainly a writer, but you know, I am definitely interested in the comics medium. A good one to use for me personally, Comics in Sequential Art by Will Eisner. Dude's a legend. I mean, if you don't know who that is, I mean,
oh yeah, I definitely know who Will Eisner is.
Go look him up. Contract with God is a masterpiece, and The Spirit's also really good too. And also, Comics in Sequential Art is amazing. And also On Writing by Stephen King, but that's mainly for writers. So, but Comics in Sequential Art, you should get that.
Thank you.
All right, Carl. So I'm gonna hold you to that, and the next time we talk, either in like a couple weeks or like a month, I'm gonna be like, Carl, how's your writing doing? Are you putting in more care and love to it?
I will.
Yo, guys, real quick, we got Macho Dan in the house. How you doing, dude?
What's up, guys? I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
I'm all right.
Good.
I just caught a little bit of what you guys are talking about as far as like writing and stuff, and I was gonna say that there's this very old like 2008 or 2009 video of Doug TenNapel that he did, and it's Making Digital Comics, I think is what it's called. I'll see if I can find it, but he has this method of writing. And you kind of like take 3 note cards and you write out the beginning, the middle, and the end. And then once you get that down, then you get more note cards and you start like adding note cards between the ones, the beginning, the middle, and the end. And eventually you get this whole story going. It's pretty neat. And that's kind of almost what we did when we started our process for our comic.
Yeah, guys. So Macho Dan here, him and Jason, aka Muttman, they're coming on the show on Tuesday to promote their Indiegogo book, Hiro, Hiro. So if you want, please check it out on Indiegogo right now. And if you're not feeling it, doing it right now, don't worry. I'm gonna make you do it 1,000 times on Tuesday.
That's right.
But so what we were talking about, we were talking about the 2 reasons why your comic book is failing. It's either your writing and your art is bad, or you just don't have a big enough following.
Right.
And so we were saying, so then I was like, I put in the chat, hey, you know, come on the video if you want, but I'm going to ask you what's something that you think that you can improve on. And so I said, I need to improve on my drawing, my anatomy, my perspective. Carl said he needs to improve on, caring for writing more. Brent said he needs to work on plotting. I don't know, Macho Dan, what do you think is something that you could work on in your comic book career that you could judge yourself in a month and be like, did I do better?
Yeah, no. I was talking about this with my wife earlier because we got into this. We had been working on this comic for a long time, but at least for me, I wasn't involved in the Twitter side of the world very much at all. And that seems to be the place that most people go, most comic book creators go. That's the medium of choice, right? And I just, I had never had a desire to be in that part of social media. And it's something that I had to do if I want to be successful. And so so you're exactly right about those two things that why your comic book failing. And that one, developing an audience, not having a big enough audience was a spot for me that I had to work on. So that's something I'm doing literally every day, trying to develop an audience and just be myself and be open and get people to follow me because because the art and the writing is good. I hope it's good, but also because, I want people to believe in the person behind the project.
Yeah, Bill, that's something I've noticed as well. And I've been doing this for freaking 3 years, and I'm pissed that I only in the last 6 months was like, I should probably get a little more vocal on Twitter.
Exactly.
That's where the comic book people are. That's how they're that's how they're marketing, and I've used Twitter to talk with Brian Hill and be like, hey, do you want to come on the show? And he's like, yeah. And I've done it with that, but I've never done it to actually sell my book. And that's dumb. That's a dumb move on me. Real quick, I want to get in the chat. We got Kevin Rodatelli. I just Facebooked you the link to this video thing, dude, if you want to come on real quick. He says, I just joined. Don't know what has been said, but here are my 2 reasons for why your comic book is failing. Standard of quality is not the same or over what Image Comics is. And 2, if you got this, number 1, that you need a marketing plan. If not, Mama and his spaghetti gonna be your only readers for your awesome comics. It's true. You need a marketing plan. And that's actually what we're talking about on Tuesday with Macho Dan. So I don't want to give away what we're going to be saying because I have this huge rant on people and how they're marketing their comics. I've seen
I'm excited for that. Good.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of good things, and I have seen so many bad things. And the day that I was like, hey, I was tweeting Jason. I was like, hey, let's get you on the show. And he goes, yeah, what's the topic? And then all of a sudden I saw 100 bad ways to market your comic on Twitter and Facebook at the exact same time. And I got so angry. I was like, this is so bad that I messaged Jason. I was like, we're talking about how to market your comic book, right?
Perfect. Yeah. That's one thing that we were I was talking to my wife earlier too. I don't want to bug people about it. I want to get my information out there in front of people, but I don't want to be a nuisance. I don't want to feel like I'm selling them an infomercial. So it's definitely a double-edged sword for promoting yourself, And
yeah, and it's super. Yeah, I agree because it's so hard because you don't want to, luckily, I had a really small goal when I did my Kickstarter. So I got funded in 5 days. And after the first week and a half, I was like, I don't want to keep bugging people.
Right.
Because for 30 days, people are just like, oh, there's Tyler. My Facebook is absolute crap because all my friends and family are all like, oh, there's Tyler. He's making something again and we don't care. And so that's why I decided, I was like, frick, I got to create a fan base somewhere else, which is why, Carl's got to go. Hey, Carl, thanks so much for being on, dude. Always a pleasure. That's why I had that episode with Jason, how to grow an audience, because Facebook, my family and friends, you know, they don't care about comics, so you have to do it, you know, either through YouTube or Twitter or Instagram. Somehow you got to create a following.
You know,
you got a what, Britton?
What?
What'd you say?
I just said, or just, you know, join groups with people with similar interests. That's how I got started.
The problem, though, I see with Facebook groups, and I'm going to talk about that on Tuesday, though, is that these comic book groups on Facebook, they're for creators. And you can only ask so many, you know, all these creators are like, listen, I don't want to back your book because I'm trying to freaking get money for my own book.
You're exactly right about that. Yep.
That ain't it, Chief.
It's tough, man. And Facebook seems to not, it just doesn't, nothing takes off on Facebook. I can post something that'll get pretty good attention on Twitter, and on Facebook I'll get like some pity like from the person that runs the moderator of the forum or whatever. So but yeah, I can get into it's like I'm excited that's your topic because I feel like I can really get into this on Tuesday. So I won't say a whole lot, but I agree, man. Yeah,
you know, just these Facebook groups are just, I call them Kickstarter dumps. They're just like, look back my kick, and then if you're like, I'm part of like 20 groups, and you'll see all of a sudden I'll get 20 notifications because that one person just dumped their Kickstarter, and I'm like, there's no description on it. It's just like, here's my Kickstarter, and you're like, tell me what the book's about. Why should I back it? And that's one thing that I just see so many people just dumping crap.
I think my idea has potential. I mean,
so what's your idea? I'd love to hear it.
I mean,
wait, say that again, Dan.
I said, what's his idea? I would love to hear it.
Whose idea?
Mine.
What's your idea?
Yeah.
The one that me and Justin are working on, which I mean. Oh,
your comic book idea.
Yeah, I mean, I have tons of other ones, of course, but the one I'm focusing on right now, I think that's the right term. It's about this guy has a bunch of problems, right? Gets hit by a car one day, just, you know, bad luck. Turns out he can no longer feel, or is it feel? I don't know. He can no longer feel any evil thought that goes into his head, or he can no longer think of anything that's considered ethically wrong. It sounds awesome until you find out that he has an evil doppelganger who has the exact opposite, where he's just completely evil, running around and causing chaos. So
it's kind of cool, man. I like that.
Yeah,
it'll be exciting to see.
Keep developing it. You gotta keep fleshing it out. I dig it.
Yeah, I mean.
So Dan, how are those live streams helping you though? Are they helping you guys? Are you guys getting more subscribers? Is it helping you get more backers?
Yeah. Absolutely. No, it's done both for us. Like we're kind of I would say, you know, I don't know. This is my first campaign like this. So I have some I guess worries because I don't know, you know, how they go for the most part. But, you know, I think that for starting off with almost nothing, like we literally started a couple like months really promoting ourselves, which is probably a very bad decision. But we were like, we need to get this thing out. We want to get it out. So we decided we were going to do it. And we've had a lot of support that just has come out of nowhere. We've just people that generally believe in our idea or believe in us as creators, which means a whole lot because until this point, like this side of my life, like it's almost this side of my life, the comic book side, and the rest of my life are almost two separate things. And this is something I'll touch on, and Jason will as well on Tuesday, I'm sure. But we are trying to make this on our own merit through people that we consider fans, not like people that we might go to church with or know from high school or like my dad or whatever, you know what I mean? So, but we've gained, saying all that, we've gained a lot of people, and we have people sharing our stuff and really, I think, genuinely caring about our product. And so it's been good. I feel like at least that live streams have worked for us. We've gotten backers from it. And I think that we've gotten a lot of followers, like Jason's YouTube channel that we've been using up until now has definitely grown, and we're getting more views. So yeah, I'd say it's definitely positive.
And it's like you said, it's all about finding the right people. Like you said, you're not trying to go for your church pastor. You're not trying to go for your mom and dad. I mean, if those people back it, that's super nice of them. That's super nice of them, and we'll take it. But at the end of the day, you want an actual fan base who are there to support you, not because they're like, oh, it's Tyler, like he's making something, I'm so proud of him. You want someone to be like, oh my gosh, Tyler's making something. I gotta get it. Really quick. Oh yeah, we got Septinov. You just replied to it, but Hero looks awesome, and we got Funko Steve saying hi.
Like Watchmen.
Septinov has been very. I say that wrong every time. I say it a different way every time. But he's been. We usually say 7 of 9. Has been awesome. He's really been had our back on Twitter and on YouTube and stuff like that. So that's like the type of fan I'm talking about. Like we connected via Twitter. And he has, he believes in our product, and like I can't say thank you enough to people like that, because it just it makes you feel like you've, whether we ultimately get funded or not, right? Like, let's say we don't. I know that I have somebody out there that appreciated the product I was trying to put out. That means more to me. That means a lot to me, a whole lot to me.
Go for it, Britton.
I was gonna ask what is your what's your story about exactly? I mean, kind of have some ideas, but I'm curious.
Yeah, go for it, Dan.
Is that for me? All right. So I'll give you the quick pitch. So basically, Hero, it's an alternate reality. We're in World War III. The U.S. is in World War III. We're fighting against Russia. They have absorbed all the rest of like Europe, and we're slowly just killing ourselves. Like battling each other. It's almost the U.S. versus Russia. We're losing American lives every day. Men and women are dying. And so they've turned to some alternative sciences to figure out how to turn the tide of the war. And one of the alternative sciences is basically reanimation. Okay, so we have a doctor who's a Russian doctor who's defected to the U.S. He is going to use some technology he's created to bring a fallen soldier back to life, to get them back in the fight. Like they got, the U.S. doesn't have a whole lot of stuff going for them right now, but they have a lot of bodies, right? So they're like, what's our weakness? We can maybe make that into a strength. All these bodies can fight again. So they put this unit. We initially made a unit called the CRO, CRO, so it stands for Combat Reanimation Ordnance. And that bot can put those soldiers back, but it has a flaw. The twist of the story is that Hero, the Hero unit, which is HIRO, stands for Hardware Integrated Reanimation Ordnance, is kind of special. And what it does is it basically can, through something we'll explore in the book, a plot device, it'll be he'll be able to absorb emotions and feelings and memories of the person that had died, and use that to ultimately be the victor in this war, in this battle. So that's kind of a somewhat lengthy description.
So real quick in the chat we have Jeff Lafferty. I don't know if you've heard of him. Just said just went and checked out Hero. Looks like it's going to be a cool book.
Man, thanks, Jeff. That's huge. That's huge praise coming from you, man. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. I'm gonna tweet Mutt in a second and tell him he'll flip out.
Supported, but I don't have any money, sadly, at the moment.
That's the problem. That's the sucky thing is we all want to back. If I could back every indie creator's project, oh my gosh, would I?
Back when I had money. So
thanks, Britton. But like what you were saying, Dan, even if your project failed, at least you have that one person. I was at a comic book event, and at my local comic book store, and someone texted the manager. They go, "Hey, is Tyler Carpenter going to be there?" And they were like, "Hey, so and so's coming," and I was like, "Who's that?" Like, I don't know this person. And this guy runs in and he's got all 11 issues of Demons that he ordered online when Insane Comics was distributing them. And he goes,
Man, it's a shame to get out of business.
it's a super shame, but he goes, I need you to sign all these. And I was like, oh my stars, how did you get all these? And he's like, I ordered.
Probably. He's like,
yeah, he's like,
catching his shit every 10 minutes.
I just put an issue number 1 in his hold box. I brought a bunch of issue 1s. I was like, Brad, put these into various people's hold boxes, and then he just started ordering them all.
That's wild, man. That's really cool.
And that meant a lot to me, just like knowing that one guy came in and he explained the whole book to me. He's like, oh my gosh, and like right now they're like doing this, and I was like, wow, you like really know. And that you know, even though he was like the only like one of like 3 people that came into the comic book store that like I like met with, and that just made the whole day. Is that one person?
That's super cool. Yeah, and we you know, I have more than just one, and it's great. So I think that if this fails, like if this doesn't work out, there's a ton that I've learned, and that I'm gonna be able to bring back for next time. And like I'm gonna keep creating. I send Jason an idea like literally one a week. I'll pitch him something. Some of them are terrible. They're awful ideas, but every once in a while there's one that we want to keep and throw it in the book for later. So we'll be back for sure if it doesn't work, but you know, we're going to give it every single day until we fail. We're going to do it all.
Boom. Well, everyone, thanks so much for watching. We got Macho Dan in here, and we got Brandon. Thanks as well for Carl coming on as well and talking with us. Thanks everyone for checking us out in the chat. Justin Ori says that's awesome. What's up, dude? Thanks, Pink Cicada, Septenov 7 of 9, Funko Steve, Christopher C. We got Kevin Rototoe. I'm not gonna read everyone, that's a lot. But thanks so much, guys, for watching. It means a freaking lot to me. Hit that subscribe button if you're a new viewer, like and comment, and yeah, just know that the two reasons I believe that your comic book is failing is either your content isn't good, you're writing in your art and you need to practice it, or you don't have a fan base and you need to start growing that fan base. So we got so thanks everyone. Thanks for watching. Dang, Corvus, Forest Walker, Hero is great, and we'll do well. Everyone, on Tuesday, we are having Macho Dan and Jason the Mutt Man on this show. So I hope you guys watch it, and we're going to be talking about how to market your comic book. We're going to be talking about Hero, and I'm going to ask you guys some deep questions.
Do it, man. I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Yeah, I'm going to be I have a lot of questions I've written down that I'm like, this is specific to you guys in your campaign.
Very cool.
So, boom. Thanks, everyone. Peace.
You guys rock.